Hello there, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. I am your favorite biology tutor, NK. So what I'll be doing today, we're going to be talking about the science of living things and biology as a science. So the first thing we'll talk about is science, the meaning of science. We'll go right on to talk about the meaning of biology, the scientific methods, and we're still going to talk about the importance of biology, then the attributes of a biologist. So I'm going to start with the meaning of science. So what is science? Science simply means the study of natural things around us. Science means the study of natural things around us. Those things that occur naturally. That means those things that are not man-made. That is the meaning of science. Study of natural things around us. Then let's go right on to biology as a science. So what is biology? The term biology is gotten from two Greek words, bio and logos. Bio means life, while logos means study. So biology simply means the study of life, or you can say biology is the study of living things. Biology is that aspect of science that studies living things. So we have two major fields in biology, or you can say two major branches of biology. So the two major fields are zoology and botany. Botany means study of plants, while zoology means study of animals. We all know that animals are kept in a zoo, and the word logy means study. So zoology means study of animals. So the next one we're talking about is the scientific methods. What is scientific method? Scientific method simply means a systematic approach of investigating inquiries that arise from an observed natural phenomenon. It is a systematic approach, meaning a step-by-step approach of investigating inquiries, questions that arise from an observed natural phenomenon. There are so many things that occurs naturally. So this scientific method tries to probe into those things that occur naturally. Why are they occurring the way they are occurring? So we have different steps. The first one, number one, is to make an accurate observation, making an accurate observation. For example, shoots of plants growing in a sheltered area or a sheltered environment, they receive light that is receiving light from just one direction. They receive light from only one direction. They grow towards the direction of where the light is coming from, and that light is sunlight. So the shoots of plants that is in a sheltered environment, maybe in a room, they receive light from one direction. They grow towards that light. They grow towards the area where the sunlight is coming from. That is an observation. Then the next scientific method is to put forward possible hypotheses to account for the observation. You put forward possible hypotheses to account for this observation. What is hypothesis? Hypothesis simply means the tentative answer given to a question or a problem, the answer given to a question. So for example, let's say shoots of plants grow towards the direction of where light is coming from. That is an answer given to a question. So that is the hypothesis. So the hypothesis in this instance would be that the non-woody shoots of plants grow towards the direction of sunlight. They grow towards the direction of sunlight. So they respond to light by growing towards the direction of sunlight. The light this time around is the stimulus. So the next one in the scientific approach, number three, is to design and conduct an experiment to test your hypothesis. Hypothesis means the answer given to a problem or a question. So now, our hypothesis, we have already ascertained that non-woody shoots of plants grow towards the direction of sunlight. They grow towards the direction of light. So for us to be able to accept this hypothesis, we are supposed to conduct an experiment. You design the experiment and you conduct it to test this hypothesis. This can be done by getting a tuber of yam, place it in a room. Then you put it in such a situation whereby light is coming into the room from only one direction, meaning sunlight comes into the room from only one direction. You can even place the yam very close to a window. What you will observe is that the shoots of the yam would grow to an extent, and when it gets to the direction where the light is coming from, it's going to bend towards the light. That is designing and conducting an experiment. Then number 4, you analyze your results and you draw your conclusion. So this time around, our result will be that non-woody shoots of plants grow towards the direction of light. So they have a one-sided stimulus. They respond to light by growing towards the direction of light. Then the number 5 in our scientific method is to either accept, reject, or modify your hypothesis. We've already ascertained that hypothesis simply means the answer given to a question or a problem. So you either accept it, you reject it, or you modify it. The example we've been using now is that non-woody shoots of plants grows towards the direction of light. Then the other one is to share your results. You share your results. When you've ascertained your hypothesis, when you've gotten your answer, the next thing for you to do is to share your results. You share your results with other scientists. Results can be shared with other scientists. So when you share your results with other scientists, what they do is to also try as much as possible to do their own experiments to ascertain that your hypothesis that you got, that your result that you got is actually correct. Then the next thing we'll talk about, so I've been talking about hypothesis. There is something else you should know, the meaning of theory and the meaning of law. So what is hypothesis? Hypothesis is, I've said it before, hypothesis simply means the answer given to a particular problem or question. Hypothesis simply means the answer given to a particular problem or question. It is also a reasonable explanation, the reasonable explanation given for an observed natural phenomenon. When you observe a natural phenomenon, the reasonable explanation given for why that thing is occurring the way it is occurring is called hypothesis. Then theory. What is theory? Theory is a tested and acceptable hypothesis. When your hypothesis is tested and accepted, it becomes a theory. Then the next one is law. What is law? Law is a generalization made from the inference of many scientists about a particular experiment after obtaining similar results. Law is a generalization made from the inference gotten from many scientists about a particular experiment after obtaining similar results. So when many scientists obtain similar results about a particular experiment, it becomes a law. So we have other scientific methods that are adopted by biologists. One of them is experimentation. Another one is variable. Then we also have control experiments. Experimentation is just the act of setting up experiments to test the tentative answer given to a particular question. Experimentation is the act of setting up experiments to test our hypothesis. That is experimentation. Then the next one is variable. Variables are those conditions on which an experiment is set up. Variables are the conditions on which an experiment is set up. So the result is gotten through variation of variables, changing of variables, you get your results. And the next one we'll talk about is control experiments. Control experiments is an experiment that is set up to justify the main experiment. When performing an experiment, there is a control experiment set up. You've already gotten the result about that experiment. You set it up to justify the main experiment. So this can be achieved by not allowing the variable under investigation to change. So the variable under investigation, you allow it to remain constant. So the next thing we'll talk about is usefulness of biology. Why is biology studied? What are the usefulness of biology? Now, biology helps man to understand how his body works. It helps man to understand the different organs in his body and how the the organs and how his body also works. It also helps man to discover several treatment options. Biology helps man to discover several treatments on different diseases. Biology helps man to understand several treatments on different diseases. It also helps man in cases of immunization, prevention of disease, and administration of drugs. Biology is also useful in the aspect of pollution control. It helps man to understand pollution and how to control pollution. Pollution is the release of harmful substances into our environment. So with the knowledge of biology, you can understand the particular pollution you are trying to control, and you can also understand ways of controlling that particular pollution. Now, biology also helps man in the understanding of his immediate environment. It helps man to understand his immediate environment, the environment where he finds himself. Biology helps man to understand his environment. Now, another importance of biology is that there are some bacteria that occur naturally. They occur naturally and they are useful. Some naturally occurring bacteria, they are also useful. They are not harmful. So what this bacteria can do, sometimes you can introduce it to clean up oil spill. So biology is also useful in this aspect. You get the bacteria, introduce it into rivers or even soil, land, to clean up oil spillage. So another very useful part of biology is the aspect of IVF. IVF means in vitro fertilization. For couples that are trying to get pregnant, couples that are trying to have a child and they can't have a child, the couple can use the method of IVF. IVF simply means fertilization of the egg outside the body of a female. So you get the egg, you get the sperm, and you fertilize it outside the body of the female before reintroducing it into the woman's body. Biology is useful in this aspect. Another very important part of biology is that it helps in the production of hybrid crops, those crops that have very good qualities, the best quality, getting the best quality from different crops, and you cross them together to get an hybrid crop. You get the best quality from this crop, the best quality from this other crop, and you cross them together. It can be done for animal as well. So biology is useful in that aspect. So the next thing we'll talk about is the attributes or attitudes of a biology. What are those things that should be found in a biologist rather? The attributes or attitudes of a biologist. So the first one is curiosity. A biologist is supposed to have a strong desire to find out about things, why things are happening the way they are happening. That is one of the attributes of a biologist. Another one, it should be objectivity. A biologist is supposed to respect other scientists' findings. You're not supposed to throw them away or disregard other scientists. You're supposed to respect their feelings and findings. Another attribute of a biologist is open-mindedness. You should be open to changes, new innovations. Things change every day. So a biologist is supposed to be open-minded to accommodate new discoveries. Another attribute of a biologist is critical mindedness. A biologist is supposed to be able to think critically, probe into questions, probe into investigations, and you accept or reject the correctness of that particular investigation. Another attribute of a biology is suspending judgment. If you think what you are doing is correct and you do the experiment and you find out that it's wrong, you suspend your judgment and wait to perform the experiment again to know whether you're actually correct or wrong. Another attribute of a biologist is perseverance. They don't give up. You keep on trying. That's an attribute of a biologist. Then carefulness. A biologist is supposed to be careful. You take caution while performing experiments. During procedures and experiments, you're supposed to take caution. Another attribute is humility. The next one is honesty and accuracy. So that is all for biology as a science and the scientific method. Have a nice day. Bye.